how are you doing today? I hope you are having an amazing day. Thank you so much for tuning into Fab Trends by Mia. So today's video, as you can see from the title, yes, a rather very important. I feel like this is so important, a review. I don't even want to use the word exciting because I feel like I'm always saying this is exciting, and you probably think everything is exciting. Come on, yes, everything is rather exciting because, to be honest, I choose to talk about things that I like. There are times I feel like if I don't really like something, I'm not very interested in something, I just won't talk about it rather than having to give like a really bad review, because my point is to help you find a fragrance you will love. As a reviewer, I hope I can share something that someone can love, and I feel like if it's something I feel like it's really no use to anyone, I don't know if I don't really want to share that, if that makes sense. Anyway, this review very important. And you know what, I was gonna talk about two fragrances in this review. So I was gonna talk about Silverstone and Miracle of Roses, but upon looking at the notes and everything I wanted to speak about this Miracle of Roses, I felt compelled to just do this review of Miracle of Roses on its own, because I felt like if I spoke about it in with another fragrance, I would be kind of rushing, because then I'm looking at the time, because I have like myself set time how I want videos, how long they should be, because I don't want to make too long a video that puts you off sitting through. So I thought I'm gonna cut to this because this fragrance, I really want to share this with you. It's something I'm loving and it's so comforting. I feel like I really want to share it and convey it to how I feel about it. So I thought I should do a single review. I'm rambling now, so let's get into this review without further ado. Right, so Miracle of Roses. Miracle of Roses, before I get into the review, I'm just going to show you the presentation for those who haven't seen it. This is the presentation, and you've got some writing at the back, and that's the box, and that's the box inside. So you get your fragrance sitting there like so, just simple, easy, cute, lovely packaging. And these are handmade, I know that, by Miguel. And there we are. This is the bottle for presentation. And yes, so you do have your house name there, Miguel Matos, and you do get as well the name of the fragrance there, Miracle of Roses. And that's the cap, silver finish, like so. So, and the sprayer for presentation purposes there. Do you see that desperation? Oh, hello. This is so lovely, you guys. Right, that's the presentation out of the way. Presentation out of the way. Now, let's talk about the inspiration for this fragrance, because it is such a beautiful inspiration, and I'm not sure if actually the inspiration behind this fragrance is even made me love this fragrance much more. I don't know about you, but I feel like when I know someone who's created a fragrance, I know why they created the fragrance, how they were feeling, etc. And they convey that into a fragrance, and if I can get what they were trying to do, I tend to love a fragrance even much more. I don't know about you, and this is the whole point why I love niche and indie fragrances. If I meet the creators or speak to them, they are just much more special to me than going into a shopping mall and buy a fragrance, a Givenchy, and I don't know, yeah, I may know who the nose is, but that's where it ends. Like I've seen them in a magazine or read about them online, etc. So if I can have someone speak to me about things they've created and I get what they are trying to do, that is so special. And this is one of those fragrances. Miracle of Roses is so special because I can see what Miguel was trying to do with this fragrance, and it really does deliver. the inspiration for this fragrance. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm talking too much already before I even talk. What was the inspiration, Miguel, for Miracle of Roses? I'm gonna spread
Um,
myself a bit more.
so, Miracle of Roses is a Portuguese legend. It talks about Queen Saint Elizabeth, and that's centuries ago. She used to be a very kind queen to the people, and she used to give food to the poor. But the king didn't like it, and the king told her not to do so, and even said that he would incarcerate her if she would do that again. And one night, during the night, she left the castle bearing bread inside her dress to feed the
Oh,
poor. And she went outside, and the king surprised her, and he asked, what do you carry inside your dress?" And
oh
she
my
said,
gosh.
"It's roses, my lord." And she opened the dress, and roses fell to the floor. And it was January. It was impossible to have roses in January here in Portugal. So this is a miracle. The queen is recognized as saint by the
Absolutely.
Catholic Church, and this is a recognized miracle of transforming bread into roses. The whole story of her life is very interesting, and there's a lot of episodes of miracles and marvelous things happening. But this episode, The Miracle of Roses, is very important to the Portuguese culture, and everyone knows about this miracle. Everybody knows this story. No matter how old or how young you are, you know this in Portugal. Santa Isabel.
Amazing.
That's
Wow.
right.
What an inspiration.
And so I wanted to create a fragrance of kindness, of comfort, and good spirited fragrance, like something that can bring you warmth and kindness in when you need it. And so there's roses, there's sandalwood, there's incense, there is iris because of the monasteries, and the iris is a flower or a root from a flower that is associated with monasteries, with the nuns treating the rhizomes. Also has a lot of cinnamon. So all of the things, and bread, because of the bread and the roses being transformed. So it has a lot of elements from the legend, and also elements that for me inspire good feelings and kindness.
Amazing. Elizabeth, she was born in Spain in 1271. Miguel said that he's gonna make more fragrances based on her life and the legends associated with her, so we can expect a few more from this line. Right, so moving along, now that we've got the inspiration out of the way, obviously, if you haven't guessed, the perfumer for this is Miguel Matos, and obviously Miguel Matos, I imagine almost everyone watching knows who Miguel Matos is. But in case you didn't know who Miguel Matos is, one is a writer. Yes, Miguel Matos is a writer for Fragrantica, which is like the perfume bible for all perfume lovers. I mean, if you love fragrances, you review fragrances, chances are you are always on Fragrantica every day. He's one of the writers, and obviously he's now a perfumer, and he's got his own perfume house, Miguel Matos Perfumes, and as well he's created a lot, and I really mean a lot, of fragrances for other houses, like lots of houses, Collage, Daft, you've got even for Chanel. So if you are a fan of Miguel Matos, you know all this. In case you are not, please do look him up, check him out, and I'll leave all the details in the description where you can find these fragrances, where you can find all information about him, his Instagram page, his online shop, and as well check him out. He has lots of reviews on Fragrantica that is written about fragrances. So a very prolific man, because he's such a busy man. He's created a whole lot of fragrances. Anyway, Miguel Matos Perfumes, Miracle of Roses. This fragrance to start with is 20% concentration. So this is eau de parfum with 20% concentration oils. And as well, this fragrance is available on his website. You can buy it for €90 for a 50 ml. And again, this fragrance is a unisex fragrance, and it's a Oriental Floral, described as a Oriental Floral. The listed notes in this one are, at the top we have bread, milk and cinnamon. In the middle we have rose, iris, heliotrope, we have immortelle, and at the base we have honey, sandalwood, incense and woody notes. And looking at the composition, you could see why we will have a composition like this, because when you think about bread, the queen giving bread to the poor, obviously. And then we've got some cinnamon, and then you have the rose, what the fragrance is named after, and then the iris, the incense and the sandalwood. We know these notes are, and iris is used in most monasteries, and the incense, the woody notes and sandalwood, we have always associated those notes in the old days, before they were used in perfumery, were always used for spiritual reasons. And because we are talking about a scent, rightly so. And a whole lot of other supporting notes here which are playing all their different roles in this fragrance. Queen Elizabeth was also known as the peacemaker. So how does the fragrance smell like? Well, to my nose, this fragrance is a very unique take on rose. I say that because it's not your average rose smelling fragrance. It's got that uniqueness. It smells very different and yet very familiar, if that makes sense. It's unfamiliar familiar. That's what I wanted to say, if that makes sense. So you do get things that you are familiar with. You get things like the milk. You can smell the milk, and the bread in this, it's almost, you know what, and I've said this before on this channel, my mom used to bake a lot when I was younger, and she would always make doughs, and she would make bread, she would make buns, she would make scones and things like that. And really the bread in this smells like, almost like when she's prepared the dough for making bread, but before she puts it in the oven. And the smell I get from this reminded me of that, like you walk into the kitchen and there's this dough that's ready to be baked, but it's not yet fully baked. And this is what I got, and I could almost, it's funny because I could see that dough, how it would be sitting on the kitchen table, and how it smelled. Like it literally brought me back, like I could see it, like, oh, my mom is baking, this is young me. That's how it smelled. I'm wearing it. That's how it smelled. Anyway, moving along, as the fragrance carries on, the fragrance, in the wear of the fragrance, this fragrance does that kind of sharpness that's in the beginning, does tone down. And when it's toned down, this fragrance, it's very strange, because suddenly I feel like I'm coming across fragrances that are quite strong, like they perform, they last so much, but they are not in your face, like to irritate you. Because, you know, sometimes you feel like fragrances that are quite strong, they're almost like in your face, irritating. But I'm coming across now like this fragrance, and this I said even about Ocean, in as much as it is a strong, powerful fragrance which will last you for so long, it's not in your face. It's very subtle, it's very calm. This fragrance is very comforting. It's very calm, very comforting. It just gives you that fragrance of, you know, that, you know, when you feel so comfortable, where you're like relaxed, like in a state of relaxation, calm, just comforting. This is what I get from this fragrance. And as the fragrance wears on, it's very hard for me to tell you that at this point the sandalwood is jumping at you, or at this point the cinnamon, because these notes are all blended in such a unique way where I can't tell you at what point the sandalwood is jumping out, because they're all blended together. and they form this lovely, unique, comforting feel. And I can imagine it's that cinnamon with that milk, with that sandalwood, even the incense. It's not like in your face anything. It's not. It's actually really just a lovely fragrance. And this, I must tell you, is a fragrance you are going to enjoy for yourself. This is a fragrance that you wouldn't wear, for example, I'm going to meet my friends, you know, at the pub or clubbing, or you want to go to an event where you want people to notice you what you're wearing, because this fragrance, it's not shouty, it's very calm, it's very comforting, and it's a fragrance you wear to enjoy for yourself. Those close to you are gonna enjoy it. Therefore, for that purpose, this fragrance would be enjoyed in bed, for example. Like, this is a fragrance I want even just maybe me and my husband relaxing at home. This is a fragrance which I would wear to just relax, just enjoy for myself. Give me, because, and I've said this before, I am looking for those fragrances that are comforting, that I will wear for myself, that are not shouting off the rooftops. This is very nice, calm, soothing, collective. This is just a gorgeous fragrance you're gonna enjoy to just have peace, you know, where you are just, and I feel like in the times like I want to meditate, this would be a perfect fragrance, because again, it's not going to be distracting me to concentrate on what I'm doing. It will be there accompanying me and just comforting me. That's how I feel. So if you are looking out for a fragrance like that, check this one out, because I dare you, you might just fall in love. It's very hard for me to describe it, to tell you that it smells like this, it smells like that, because it's very unique. At least to my nose, this blend is quite unique. It's nothing like any of the roses that I've tried. It's very unique. And as well, for projection, like I said, it's very moderate projection, and it's got a kind of a Miguel DNA running through it without being any of the fragrances in the house, if that makes sense. In as much as it's got something that you would think, oh, Miguel Matos. It's not anything like what's in the collection. It's quite unique on itself. And as well, this fragrance for me, I feel like wearing this fragrance is almost like a spiritual experience, other than just, it's a fragrance I will wear to experience it as a fragrance. This is not a fragrance I would wear because I want to smell nice, I'm going to town. Do you know what I mean? This is a fragrance I want to wear for that experience. It's uplifting, comforting, something, it's divine. That's the word. This fragrance is divine. Divinity running through it. Yes, it's divine. And as well, I just feel like this fragrance is definitely gonna be good to wear in the day and at bedtime, but not for outings, I would say, because if you want something for an outing, you're out where people should smell you 10 meters away, people won't smell this from that far. But if it's a fragrance for close encounters, definitely. And again, I feel like it's been such a lovely experience to have to enjoy this fragrance in lockdown. I'm not out into crowds so much, so this is perfect. I've enjoyed wearing this fragrance, and you know what? It looks like I haven't worn much of it, but when you think about how many sprays that is, look at that. That's how much and you know, I haven't had it for long, so it's quite lovely. I've just been casually coming in. Every time I go to bed, I spray it. And even my kids love this fragrance, which is nice, because I've always said this. If people in the house enjoy a fragrance as much as I do, then I'm super happy, because it means that I don't have to justify myself on why I'm getting fragrances. If we can all enjoy. All in all, I don't know if you can tell, but this is a fragrance that's come and taken a really special place in my heart. And Miguel Matos, thank you so much for this creation, because this is one I shall cherish forever. This fragrance is always going to be in my collection. I'm always going to wear this fragrance. I'm enjoying it for bed. I'm enjoying it even in the day, just casually. And you know what's funny? I found myself wearing a different fragrance, and I come in my room. I'm like, oh, let's spray some Miracle of Roses, just so that I will have it where I can go in and take a moment. And I don't know, something like I said about it makes me feel that deep connection with thyself, if that makes sense. Yes, I hope that you enjoyed this review of Miracle of Roses, because I'm enjoying this fragrance, and I urge you, if this sounds like something you might like, please do not hesitate, go check it out. I'll leave all the details to find Miguel's fragrances and all his other creations and what's on his website down below. So thank you so much for watching. If you watched to the end, I shall see you soon. Take care, much love, bye.